Hey guys, Joanne here, and welcome to Paleo Reviews. Oh boy, this is going to be so much fun. I'm actually kidding, this is going to be really painful. I never really talked about this movie on my channel a lot when it came out before Christmas of 2013 because I just simply did not want to, and for very good reasons. But now, since there's a new Walking with Dinosaurs series coming out this year, I'm ready to stop holding back and get things off my chest with this movie. Walking with Dinosaurs, 2013. This is a movie loosely based off the 1999 TV program of the same name. Keyword loosely, which we'll get back to that later. I already did a Paleo review video of the original show sometime after I gave it a rewatch during New Year's, and long story short, it's still a classic. It is mostly dated, obviously, due to more discoveries and studies being made, but regardless of that, I still love it to this day. And now back to the 2013 movie. It tells a story about a Pachyrhinosaurus named Patchy, who is born a runt, and the movie shows his life and journey on Earth. There's also numerous characters, including Alex, who's Patchy's best friend, Juniper, who is Patchy's girlfriend, and Scalar, who's Patchy's big brother. Last but not least, we have our dinosaur antagonist of the movie, Gorgon, who's a Gorgosaurus. The movie basically tells an underdog type of story, which is something I would usually like. I'm all for stories about underdog characters who achieve the impossible and all that jazz. Unfortunately, this movie was a complete disaster, in my opinion, and I regret watching it again. I haven't seen this movie since late 2013, and I dove into it again just to see if it was just as bad as I remembered it, and to also prepare for the 2025 series that will be coming out this year. And yeah, spoiler alert, it was horrible. It was bad. Okay, let's calm down for a moment there. Before I calmly go on a rant, I might as well talk about the actual good things about the movie, aka stuff that I liked. But in my opinion, none of the good stuff I'll be talking about is good enough to make the movie at least decent. Please keep in mind that I am not critiquing this movie because, oh no, it's different from the original Walking with Dinosaurs series. No, I'm critiquing the movie for how it was made and handled. The first thing I liked about the movie are the visuals. They're obviously the best parts of the movie. Just like the original TV series from 1999, the movie used live-action locations that are part of our world, which was awesome, by the way. All the dinosaurs and other creatures featured in there are made with CGI, and let me tell you, the CGI on these animals look really detailed, especially when the shots are up close and personal. It gave me vibes of Disney's Dinosaur, but with a more modern twist. After finding out that one of the people behind Disney's Dinosaur worked on this movie, it makes a lot more sense now. Although if you just want to enjoy the visuals, I recommend that you push the mute button on your TV remote. I'll get to that when I talk about the dislikes, so bear with me on that. Another thing I enjoyed about the movie is that it uses lesser known dinosaurs. This movie didn't bring in dinosaurs like Triceratops and T-Rex, but instead we got lesser known dinosaurs like Pachyrhinosaurus and Gorgosaurus, even though it is now called Nanooksaurus. I like seeing these kinds of dinosaurs getting more attention because there are millions of dinosaur species out there besides the ones we are so used to seeing all the time. And another thing I liked is Gorgon. I am already aware that it lacked feathers and he was supposed to be Nanooksaurus, but regardless of that, I thought he looks amazing. I love the color blue, so this guy was right up my alley. And not only that, but he's definitely the best character in the movie due to him not running his mouth like everybody else. He and his pack members were also fun to watch on screen too. Speaking of running his or her mouth, it's time to enter the danger zone, aka the problems. Let us begin the ultimate/obvious problem with this movie. The voiceovers. Where do I begin? What happened? Why were the voiceovers a thing in the first place? Well, I went online and found something. In fact, I'm going to read something to you guys on what I found from a website called The Hollywood Reporter. Please observe. Staying true to the miniseries, directors Neil Nightingale and Barry Cook intended to use only a narrator, but when Fox executives saw a rough cut of Dinosaurs, they grew alarmed, deciding that if the film was to work for families, kids would need more of a connection to the characters. "We wanted to give the dinosaurs a personality," says one top Fox executive. So, in other words, the movie was going to be silent with just one narrator just like the original, but these executives decided last minute that they wanted to appeal to children, hence why there were voiceovers in this movie. Whoever thought this was a good idea was probably thinking that dinosaurs are just appealing to children only because, good grief, folks, by making this decision, you made this family movie intolerable for older audiences, in my opinion. Remember the saying of, if it ain't broke, don't fix it? This is the perfect example. It didn't need those voiceovers in the first place. And what makes it worse is that because this decision was last minute, the voice acting felt very forced and rusty. The movie just needed a narrator, and that's good enough, but I guess it's not good enough for those executive people there. I guess besides, oh, dinosaurs are for children, they didn't want kids in the audience to get bored. Well, guess what? I watched the original Walking with Dinosaurs as a child when it was just one narrator, and I turned out just fine. I wasn't bored from it as a kid. If I had no problems with just the narrator talking, then there's a chance that children will not have that problem either. Yes, the dinosaurs in this movie are somewhat sentient unlike the original, but you don't have to make them talk. Yes, Disney's Dinosaur and Land Before Time had talking dinosaurs, but those kinds of movies actually worked, and they were mature compared to how the dinosaurs talked in the Walking with Dinosaurs movie. I have my own dinosaur animatic series that has sentient dinosaurs in it, but I chose not to have any spoken dialogue because I feel like it's not even needed anyways. Movies and other media in general can have different ways of communicating to the audience about a story being told. Sure, dialogue is the way to go, but you don't need spoken dialogue every single second to tell a story. Visuals on screen can tell you a story. Even a still piece of artwork can tell you a story. Also, I hate to burst your bubble to whoever that one executive is, but children can watch things with little to zero dialogue. Take it from me, for example, who watched the Tom and Jerry cartoons as a child. Oh, and you know that this movie's trying to be all hip with the kids when they brought in Sid the Sloth to narrate as that bird. Oh, and don't expect a lot of education because all you're pretty much gonna get is a child interrupting the movie to tell you the name of the species, the meaning behind that name, and its diet. I saw this movie with my mom in theaters, and while she was lucky that the voiceovers never bothered her, I can't say the same thing for myself. I barely stayed in my seat. Afterwards, when we went to go eat lunch at Chili's, my mind felt numb. It felt like my soul just fled my body after the movie was over, and it took me a bit to recover afterwards. Thanks to the unnecessary voiceovers, it had led to problems number 2, number 3, and a couple of other things as well, but let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Let's move on to number 2. Problem number 2, too noisy. Numerous times, it felt like everyone's trying to speak over each other. Right after one character finishes talking, another character immediately starts talking. It was so common that it felt like my ears couldn't even get a breather. There were barely any breaks from dialogue, even during serious moments like the forest fire scene and the scene where Bulldust meets his demise. When Patchy and his brother were talking during that moment, I wanted to yell at them to shut up. Let the visuals do the talking, for crying out loud. I think the movie wanted to go down that noisy route because they want to achieve oh, we gotta keep the kids entertained, much like the decision with adding those voices. I'm so glad they didn't make it Gorgon, Major, or Bulldust talk because Jiminy freaking crickets. Problem number 3, the tone/humor of this movie. My freaking word. I was rolling my eyes and silently groaning in my seat at this. They really treated this movie like a joke. The tone and humor was very immature, and there's numerous fourth wall jokes, which were also bad, and they just won't stop. I guess if you're a kid, you probably aren't going to be bothered at all, but I guess it depends. However, even if you are doing that to keep kids in seats, it's still very insulting to the intelligence of children, in my opinion. Speaking of humor, here's a few jokes I wrote down while I was suffering through this movie a second time. I'm sorry I went all prehistoric on you back there, okay, buddy? You kicked his butt all the way up to the Stone Age. I think I just stepped in fear. You know, someday these mammals will go extinct, and then we'll have the last laugh. It is so prehistoric. What can I say? I got nothing. These are self-explanatory. As for a couple of other things as well, for those of you who are like, Joanne, this is a kid's movie, give it a break. Well, as I said before, this movie did not have any voiceovers in the first place, and it was going to be like a family movie until executives screwed it up. The Walking with Dinosaurs movie could have been a lot better without them, and it could be just a movie both kids and adults can enjoy, much like Disney's Dinosaur. And as for our main characters, there's not really much. Patchy is okay, Juniper is okay, Alex is kind of annoying, Skylar is a massive butthole, and the voiceover didn't help at all. Gorgon is the most normal out of the whole crowd. Also, remember when I brought up how this movie was loosely based off the original miniseries? Well, I don't think it even deserves the title of Walking with Dinosaurs, even if it was loosely based off the original. Given how this movie was treated like a big joke and insults the intelligence of dinosaur fans, it doesn't deserve it. Sorry. It could have been named something else like The Prehistoric Journey of Patchy or Patchy's Great Adventure. I would slightly be less ticked off if they went with something like that, but honestly, even with that, I would still be angry at those darn voiceovers. Before I close this review off with the final Sickle Claw rating and any other final thoughts, I'll give you some scenes that were my favorite though. I like the part at the very end, right before the credits rolled, where Alex was like, "Okay, movie's over, fade to black," and then Gorgon pops out of nowhere and provides a jump scare to the audience. I'm not gonna lie, that part got a chuckle out of me, and it was one of the few moments that actually made me laugh. Speaking of laughing, as cliched as it is now to make fun of T-Rex arms, I did chuckle a bit at the part where Alex was getting distracted by the tiny arms of Gorgosaurus while he was trying to educate the audience about it. Although, I want to give out a kind reminder that T-Rex and other Tyrannosaurs in general don't need their tiny arms to hunt. Instead, they rely on their giant heads and their mouths full of sharp teeth to get the job done. The final battle sequence was kind of fun, although it's more fun if you just mute your TV during that scene. The scenes with those 3 pterosaurs were pretty funny as well. To conclude, Walking with Dinosaurs 2013 was a gargantuan headache of a movie to sit through. It is unwatchable, and I obviously recommend the original Walking with Dinosaurs instead. I also recommend Ballad of Big Al as well. If you want talking dinosaurs done right though, I recommend The Land Before Time and Disney's Dinosaur instead. I'd rather hear a chorus of snoring English bulldogs than to watch this movie yet again. While the visuals were phenomenal, the movie is stained with awful humor, intolerable dialogue, too much noise, and it not only insults the intelligence of children, but it also insults the intelligence of dinosaur fans and those who are fans of the original 1999 series. I am not holding back on the rating. Walking with Dinosaurs 2013 gets a 3 out of 10 Sickle Claws. Well, after all that ridiculousness, there are some happy endings that came out of this crap. When the movie eventually came out on DVD, there's a Blu-ray version called the Cretaceous Cut where all the voiceovers were completely removed, and it was given a more mature narrator. Thank goodness. I actually plan on checking out the Cretaceous Cut version once I gain access to it. And another happy ending, about 9 years since the movie came out, Prehistoric Planet came into existence, and in the 4th episode, it shows a segment where it features a herd of Pachyrhinosaurs coming face to face with a pack of Nanosaurs. This part from Prehistoric Planet is 1,000 times much better, and it shows what the Walking with Dinosaurs movie should have been in the first place. I am both excited and slightly nervous for the new Walking with Dinosaurs series, and I hope it knows what it's doing. I do not want history to repeat itself. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see y'all later in another video.